I heard about Sacramento, I was like, damn, these brothers are bad. They're here up in Sacramento in the capital, packing. The boldness, the courageousness about it, the arrogance of it, that put a whole new face on things. I said, man, I want to be a part of this, whatever that is.
Yeah, I walked into the office and told them I wanted to join the Black Panther Party, and they kind of laughed. I didn't know that there were any other women, in the party at that time. But then I asked them, could I have a gun?
I was a student at Lincoln University outside Philly when I first heard about the Black Panther Party. I found my friend John Huggins, and I said, we need to leave this stupid campus. We have work to do. We got in John Huggins' little hoopty car. We drove across the country from New York, and when we got to the West Coast, we joined the Black Panther Party.
What we want, what we believe.
Point number one, we want freedom.
We want decent housing.
We want an education for our people. We want an immediate end to police brutality.
People join for all kinds of reasons, but the Panthers have a 10-point platform and program that really was sort of like the fundamental sort of organizing tool and orientation tool.
The civil rights movement was basically a Southern movement. So when you had an organization like the Panthers, who were taking on things like housing and welfare and health, that was stuff that people in the North could relate to and rally behind.
Our attack was not only against white supremacy, but it was also about capitalism. We actually thought that the way in which capitalism created a working class that was kept absolutely destitute, that was wrong.
So we took the position that in order for us to be free, that system had to be dismantled. We could not be free in a system that had oppressed us in the first place.
Absolutely. Welcome to another edition of, let's call this the proletariat era. Actually, I was just going to use this as a title, but I do like this as a sort of the name of the stream, or this is the episode of the podcast, the proletariat era. Just came up with that just now. So welcome. I am your host. This is the first episode. I feel like it's time to turn this shit up. So I'm the type that I can only talk about what needs to be done for so long before I'm gonna go, okay, nobody's doing shit. It's time to do this shit. And that's where I feel I'm at, and we're at as a community. So it's time to do some shit. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Wanted to start out with the Panthers, of course, and sort of what we're going to need. We're going to need people that want to volunteer to participate in the community and outreach programs and survival programs. And we're going to be talking about that today. So let me just show you the graphic. And also talk about the Activist Summit and the RBN chapter launch. So they're all kind of together. And I'll talk about that some more and go into detail and explain all of what we're talking about today. Let me do a quick chat check and see who's here. Let's scroll up. All right. Yes. Good vibes. Let's see who else is welcoming comrades. Just saying what's up to everybody, letting everybody kind of shout out. Yes, I'm excited too. Yes, I'm more determined than feeling hopeful. Because to me, determination you have control over, and hopeful you're just kind of waiting to see what happens, I guess. Yeah, he did ruin that song. I think he played it at one of his events or something like that. Yeah, what's good, everybody? I think that's a good chat check. So let me show you another graphic. If you follow us or me, yeah, if you follow RBN or myself on Twitter, and you saw our post before the stream started, or posting advertising the stream, you saw a couple of postings. I do want to take you through those right now. Is that what I'm showing on the screen? Yes. Okay. Sometimes I forget. All right, so let's go to where, oops. I showed you the first graphic. Now let's go to this here. So now this is not an announcement that RBN's doing an activist summit. This is an announcement that Compton J wants to plan a activist summit for October. That's where I want to look towards, like the first couple weeks of October, to do an activist summit. And this is a summit that's going to have, we want all types of activists, all types of community outreach programs. If you're part of an organization, so let's do this now. Now, because now that I'm here, do I have the email address? Yeah, but I'm going to change the subject line here. So this is going to be activists. Oops. Activist summit. I'm a bad speller, so I have to use phonics. Spelling things, really, I am. Oops, wrong one. Right below it. So this is the email. So the first thing I'm doing, I know I'm kind of unorganized. Maybe I should bring up my program for today. So let's talk about what the Activist Summit is first. So the Activist Summit, this is the idea. This is something Rome also spoke to Rome about. The idea where it's basically bringing activists together to talk about, one, what they're doing, what is their activism about, and then talk about the broader concept of activism, what it takes, sort of building community or building a coalition of activism. So we want climate emergency activists. We want, I want climate emergency activists. I would assume RBN would want it also, so I could say that. Police brutality or abolitionists for policing, either however you describe yourself. We need activists for that. We need the disability right activists. Homeless or unhoused activists, immigration, anti-war, abortion rights, rent control, prison abolitionists, pro-Palestinian activists. So all types of activists. If any of your activism is not listed here, that doesn't mean we don't want you. To just means I only had a small amount of space to put to make this list, so I couldn't possibly list everything. So if your activism is not shown here, still email us, and in the subject line put Activist Summit. We're looking if you know of a organization that does something locally in the community. If you're a member of that organization, you can email us and say, hey, I'm a member of this organization. I don't know if they would be interested, but here is their contact information. You can reach out to them. So email us if that's you. If you're, an officer in this organization, you can email us from the capacity of the organization, letting us know if you're interested. Or I'm assuming if you're emailing us, you would be interested, but talk about your organization. And then, so all of the people on this list, if you fall in that category, or you know of an organization that falls in that category, if you know of a kick-ass activist online, and you know their Twitter handle, they're activists, not just tweeting things. I mean, they're a literal activist. This is what we're looking for. Email us with their Twitter handle, or if you know them, tell them, hey, I know RBN is looking to do this activist summit. Email them so we can get this popping. We basically want to showcase all different types of activists and what they're doing. But this is all to bring together different activism, because what we want to do, or what I would like to do, is in cases of agreement, if you say, okay, I'm a climate activist, I've never really been out for doing let me see, let me pick one from here. Disability rights activism, I've never thought of even being participating in that, but I'm not against it. So think of the coalition. Hey, disability activists would say, hey, to a climate emergency activist, hey, you come out and support me in solidarity for my activism, I'll come out for yours. That sort of coalition building. So maybe you specialize in something, but the type of activism we're going to need is everybody doing their thing. You doing your climate activism, you doing your police abolition activism, you doing your homelessness activism like you've already been doing, but then we're coordinating something periodically together as a group of activists for a singular goal. That's something we can talk about during the summit. What is that singular goal that brings us all together through our individual activism? Okay. So if any of this sounds great, please email us. Now, we don't typically hover over our emails like 24/7 right when we get one, but because of this announcement, I will be actively looking out for emails for what we're looking for. So again, if any of these fall for you, or if any activism that's not listed here, which is a lot. I mean, there's a lot that's not listed here. We still want you, please email us with this as the subject line. All right, so let's now show you the other graphic here. Okay, I think I hit escape. Yeah, the other graphic here. Now, this one is specific to Los Angeles, which will be my chapter when the chapters do launch. So let's click this here. So Los Angeles activism right now, I believe the list will get a little bit bigger because something else. So let me explain it this way. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the Los Angeles Community Outreach. So that's what we're launching as. Not launching as, but that's what we're called now. Because the chapters haven't launched yet. We haven't launched chapters. There's a lot more detail in the background that needs to happen, but I'm ready to start my activism locally, which is key. And let me put this actually on the screen too. Or do I have it listed here? I may already have it listed here. But to me, activism, what's key to activism is organizing locally. Mobilizing nationally. So okay, good thing it has a spell check on here. Organize locally, mobilize, I should just say mobilize, not mobilizing, but mobilize nationally. Because people, when we say, oh, it's time to organize, and it's always, yeah, mobilize locally. But that can be dissuading for some people, because some people know that their local activism is not the best. So people need to feel like they're connected to something bigger. This is the template of the Black Panthers. You have Black Panther local chapters where they're nationally mobilizing as the Black Panthers. This is what we believe, this is what we want to do. But every community of the Black Panther chapters are different. They could be organizing around different things specific to that community. So that's the concept. So this is the areas of focus for the LA chapter. Another thing I already know I'm going to add to this is basketball training. So let's talk about community outreach. Community outreach is supplying any sort of resource that you are good at or can do that benefits the community. So don't think that it's just food and clothes. This is something I thought a couple of days ago. Homework help and tutoring. So there is a location I know of that we will be able to use in LA, and it's right down. I'm not gonna say walking distance down the street, but like a 5-minute drive from USC. So that gives you sort of an idea of where it's at. So it's about a 5 to 7 minute drive, let's just say, from USC. But that's where this location of somebody I know, you can rent the space. But the person knows if we doing some like community outreach, they'll allow us to use it. But it's just like an event venue. So that's what we can have homework help. That's what we can have tutoring. We can have people come and maybe have some political education classes there. It's a pretty big space. So there can be multiple things happening in the same space because it's like a long space. So, and then I just thought of what I can contribute. I used to, when my son was younger, I was a basketball trainer for youth. So that's something I could do as a free service. Political education will be something else I would be wanting to do. And if we are an adult and you feel comfortable with tutoring, that's why we kind of have it as the sort of the lower grades. If you feel comfortable doing high school age, I guess that would be fine too. But people usually most adults can teach math like 1+1 and 2+2, sort of tutoring, and then homework help. Clothing, doing the same thing that Tour for the Poor did and does. And again, RBN is taking over Tour for the Poor. So it's not like Rome. You're not going to see Rome still tweeting about it, but technically it'll be under RBN. But RBN, I mean, yes, but Tour for the Poor sometimes, like when he was down here in LA, go to the Goodwill, buy some clothes, buy a bunch of clothes. We took it down to Skid Row, and then let people down there pick out the things they want that was useful for them until the clothing was gone, and all of it was gone by the time, within, I would say, not even an hour, all the clothes were gone. So that's what we mean by that. And then there's a couple of housing projects. Nickerson Gardens is one I particularly know people who already have a program there, who we did last Christmas. We did the fundraiser for. We gave 20 families. I think we did 21 families. The target was 20 families, but we got enough donations for 21 or 22 families. I can't remember specifically. And we gave them $50 gift cards to go and purchase whatever, pay a bill if they needed to. But we gave it to them around Christmas. For the idea was, if they didn't have money, you got bills to pay. But your kids still has the they go to school and they hear people talking about Christmas and may be embarrassed or may not understand what poverty and being poor is. So we wanted to be able to give that help during Christmas, and we did that with your help, and we raised like the money in literally 2 or 3 days, like 3 or 4 days. We raised enough money, whatever that money is. What is that, $2,000? Were they $50 gift cards? I can't remember. Yeah, I think 20. Yeah, that must be it. $50 gift card. I think that is $1,000 or 2,000, whatever the case may be. That's what we did. So this is the focus for the LA outreach, and we already have a team of 10 people, I believe. But we're looking. I want to get to 20 people before we actively start doing things. But we're in the planning. I mean, we're in the planning stages. So if we had 20 people right now, it's not like we would have something planned for this weekend because we're still sort of in the planning phase, trying to understand what resources we're going to have. That's where we're at right now. So if you're in LA, so let me adjust this here. If you're in LA, or in the surrounding areas of LA, Orange County, Ventura County, Riverside County, let me actually change this. Email us if you are interested in helping or volunteering. And maybe you have a resource that is not listed here. Maybe you are an editor, or maybe you're a camera person and you can come out and videotape some of the work we're doing and you put it together a video. That's helping. So any sort of volunteer help you can do. If you're a person, oh, I have a bunch of tables you can use to give out the food, because we have to set up the food on longer tables. I have a bunch of those. I can contribute that. I can bring those to the events when we're giving out food and clothes. We need those when we go to Skid Row specifically. We need to be able to have we don't want to throw their clothes and food on the floor. Like, we want to give them respect. So we want to have it on the table. So maybe you have tables. Hey, I can come down and bring the table for these events and drop it off and pick it up when everybody's done. So that's help that you can have. So I don't want you to think only in the terms of, I can supply money to buy food or I can bring food. It's a lot more involved in community outreach programs. So organize locally. I thought I changed that. I didn't. So mobilize. Let's just say that. That'll be better. And put it back up. So organize locally, mobilize nationally. So we'll be coordinating with the KC, the Kansas City Community Outreach Team, which will be ran by Nick, coordinating also with Sabby, who will be running the Boston Community Outreach Team or campaign. And then in Orlando, JB will be coordinating the Orlando Community Outreach campaign. And then last and certainly not least, I think the final city we're going to launch with is it Detroit? I believe it's Detroit for Rome. I may have to correct that. So I'm not if that the city is wrong. So I think the fifth city we're launching with is Detroit, Michigan. So the Detroit, Michigan Community Outreach Team we'll also be coordinating with. So that's a national sort of coordinating, mobilizing, whatever word you want to use. But the work will be done locally. So Nick may have some different priorities in KC than I have in Los Angeles. We have a very large, if not the largest unhoused homelessness population in the United States. So we are going to be doing a lot of work around, helping those on Skid Row, maybe some housing work. So if you're so again, LA, so email us. So, because I'm going to move on to the next thing. So email us if you're in LA or in surrounding areas. In the subject line, please put LA outreach. LA outreach in the subject line, and you can anything. Just hey, yeah, I'm in LA or near LA, and I want to be able to volunteer. A lot of the work, the physical work, will be done on the weekend. So if we do give out food, or if we have some sort of clothing drive, or most of that will be done Saturday and or Sundays. When we're going to be doing that in LA, because we're working class. We understand people will be working during the week mostly. And we're working class, so people will be working on the weekends also. But there's it just provides a little more opportunity when we do that on the weekends for people instead of during the week. So that's the LA outreach. If you're able to volunteer, if you're able to contribute a resource, what's something else we can use? I know a camera person who can come out, and you don't have to, we don't have to physically, do anything with your camera. You just show up with your camera, you take the pictures, you take the video, and then you email those videos to us so we can put them up on our soon to be launching website and or all of our social media. So also, I'll also say this. Since I'm here, let's go ahead and announce everything that we're looking for. So I'll just call this, how you spell it. If it's wrong, if it's 2 words, it's, hey, I'm a bad speller. So now we're also looking for back office help. Back office help would be like people who could edit. These is all volunteer. We're all doing this on a volunteer basis, so I don't want you to think you're being hired as an RBN editor. But I'm saying in the context of this community outreach, back office help would be like people who, I said editors before, but so if you put LA outreach and you're an editor, that's fine too. But I'm going to include editors in this back office, but there's people that is just, good with sort of administrative sort of typing help. Oh, I can put together memos. I can put together, emails for this work. That's also help we need. So you can email us and just put back office help in the subject line. Another back office help we need, producers. That's something we can train on. That's not something you have to have experience. So if you just have the time to be a producer for some of our streams, like when we're streaming for these community outreach events, if you're able to produce, that means, I got a computer, I can move. My computer has internet. I guess you would have to make sure you have that, maybe, unless the place we're at. I know the location by USC has Wi-Fi, so if we're there, you won't have a problem because the internet is provided. But like if we're out somewhere. Oh, almost forgot here. I do have a list. I'm glad I thought of it because I would have forgot to have said this, but these are some very important sort of back office help we're going to need. I made a list here. Citizen journalists. This is a big one here. So if you are a citizen journalist or you want to be a citizen journalist, and what does it take you to be a citizen journalist? You have the time, you have a vehicle to drive to, locations, you have the time to do it. And I would say you have the equipment. I guess you would need like a laptop, to set up a laptop, maybe buy a mic or something like that, and we can raise some money for those types of things. So not having all of the equipment, but having a laptop, you would definitely need to have a laptop, because if you're a citizen journalist, you might be on somewhere by yourself where you would have a laptop. And maybe down the line, after we've raised enough money, we'll be able to buy like one for the outreach program. But for now, so we're looking for citizen journalists. If you are one, email us, put back office help. Editors, I put camera and microphone. If you're a sound person, you might be a person that's in the audio, so you might know about these types of things, who could help in the field, sort of producing a news segment. So we want to begin doing this as part of our outreach. So if we say we need a citizen journalist down at a protest that's coming up at City Hall, we want somebody for RBN to go down, for the LA community outreach team to go out there to that protest and just sort of report what's happening out there on the protest. It doesn't have to be anything, hours long stream, whatever the reporting would require. Or if you needed to go down to a council meeting to report on something that the city council is voting on, and that can be any sort of city council locally, whether LA County Council, whether Long Beach City Council. They just voted Long Beach City Council. I want to cover also. I used to actually work at Long Beach City Hall. So down there, they just voted on a $25 minimum wage for healthcare workers. So all healthcare workers employed in the city of Long Beach. One of my kids was born in Long Beach. I think my eldest was born in Long Beach. So those healthcare workers, there's a couple of hospitals in Long Beach. I'm trying to think. I know of that one. That's why I brought it up. We'll be getting, and it's other healthcare facilities. It's not just hospitals, but $25 an hour. So, we'll be covering. We want citizen journalists in different. So if you're in an area, you're in Long Beach, and you're able to be a citizen journalist from when we need somebody at the Long Beach City Council. Maybe you can be that. If you're a person who's in Compton and you want to be able to be the citizen journalist for when we need something covered in Compton, whatever city you're in, if you're in Irvine, if you're in, I don't want to I'm trying to name a city in different counties. So Irvine's in Orange County, Sherman Oaks, I think, is in Ventura County, LA County, you got Compton. You got Hawthorne, you got Paramount, you got, all different types of cities. Westminster is in Orange County. Cypress is in Orange County. So Anaheim in Orange County. So all different types. You can be a citizen journalist, email us, back office help. That's a big one. We need a lot of citizen journalists with the time, the vehicle, and the equipment being a laptop. We'll figure out what else we need. If you're a person who's an audio sort of person who can come out and help in the field audio, I know that's somebody that needs to specialize in that. That's help we can use, because I actually don't know how we're going to do that now that I'm thinking of it now. So I'll get to your comments and post those up. Maybe you have some questions. Camera people. So if you're somebody who just has a camera and can meet a citizen journalist and just be the person where you just videotape it and then you send the footage in, so you never have to, be without your camera. It's not like you're having us use your camera. You're just showing up and you're videotaping whatever the broadcast would be that's being broadcast on RBN through our citizen journalists. I already mentioned, like, if you have tables, if you have chairs, if you have a canopy that you can quickly set up for these events where we're giving out food and stuff like that. People who have the physical ability to move things, if you're able to physically come out and lift chairs and stuff like that, we can always use help like that. So that is back office. You can put, but the back office itself specifically for editors and citizen journalists, administrative. That's literally what that back office. The LA help is if you want to just volunteer. You want to volunteer and be, to give out food. That's LA Outreach. If you want to be part of that team. So I hope that distinction. Now, if you email us and you put the wrong thing in the subject line, don't even worry about it. We'll figure it out in the body of the email, but this just makes it a lot easier for us. So I've been talking a lot. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick before I get back to more information of what's happening here. So citizen journalist is free because you're volunteering, just like what Nick does when he did for Bernie Sanders campaign. So if you're looking to be a journalist and to get paid, we're not the place, and this is not what you're looking for. And that actually goes for anything. If you're looking for pay, we're looking for volunteers. Exactly. What the hell was that? My daughter's playing a game and making all kind of noises. On a game with her friends, so she has to be extra on the little game mic. But anyway, yeah, we're looking for volunteers. This is community outreach help. Not to say that the person could have just been curious to know. Not to say the person is trying to, who had the question comment. Let's not jump on that person and saying, "Oh, like, are you just looking for money?" Not to say that that person is saying it could have just been a curious question. But I needed to clarify. But yeah, this is all volunteering. Um, so yeah. Let's go to some more comments. If I'm looking for more, if you had questions, maybe. Hold on, you're having comments. Oh, so you're asking about the rising with Katie. RBN has a Discord. They're starting access to it. We'll go. Yes. I haven't announced. I haven't reminded this folks. We have a Discord that we're gonna be launching. This is another thing. So, wow. So this is. So I may have said back end help and not listed everything, but this question reminds me there is other things. Office help. This is another thing we need back office help for. So RBN has a Discord starting access would be Substack. Yes, so I'm going to go through that information. But for example, we need somebody to run our Discord. We need people to physically monitor that Discord. That's literally the reason why we haven't launched it. We haven't found anybody we trusted to run it yet. So that's another thing. So if you're able to help us running Discord, if you're able to be our social media person, where you're the one who's taking care of our social media, you are posting things, you're making sure things are being put out on a timely manner on all of our social media. That's other help. So I'm throwing out all help. So I'll just, when something comes to my mind, I'll make sure I remind it. So now let's go to the Substack. Like the first comment had, the initial comment said, this is our Substack. So join our Substack. So everybody in our Substack will get access. The Substack, we already have your email, so we will just simply email you the link to join our Discord. Everyone who joins our Substack get access to our Discord. Okay, so that's the setup. So everybody with access, everybody who is on our Substack will get access to our Discord. So if you would like access to our Discord, join our Substack. And you will receive that by email. I think the link by email whenever that is launched, when we have found the person that could, or the people, I should say, is more than one person that can help run the Discord. All right, so let's kind of now go back to what we're talking about here. So the activist summit, we're going to go back to after I make sure I covered both of these items here. So now is there anything else? Yeah, so this is this is just some of the community. This is just a picture I pulled as some of the type of community outreach we could do. These are the types of tables, what I mean by having tables. So like if you're a person who, I have a couple of these sort of long tables where people can sit and maybe eat, or we can just have the food on here, and it can be like a sort of like a cafeteria style where they come in a line and pick food from the table on their plate and kind of go somewhere else and sit. That's how we've done it in the past. So it could be that, or if we're doing a diaper run, I forgot to put that on there. That's something else. So when we go into the housing sort of projects, Diapers will be big. Clothing will be big. That's where we can do the tutoring, on-site sort of tutoring. We'll be teaming up when we're in the Nickerson Gardens. We can team up with another group that already helps, who we teamed up with for our Christmas giveaway. And then there's another housing project in Long Beach where my mom used to actually be the outreach. So believe it or not, this sort of thing is in my blood. My mom did this same sort of work. No organization, it was just her. She just said this needs to be done for the community, and she did it. This is all my life. This is the way it's been. So ever since I can remember living in the first house I remember we lived in Compton or LA. Gosh, I remember people coming and getting food from our house. I remember my mama going out giving food. Now she's a Christian, so she also was preaching. But most of her things she did with the community didn't involve her preaching. It involved her giving out food and stuff. So one of the projects in Long Beach, I kind of already, know the layout. So that'll be a place where we can do tutoring over there. We can do food giveaways, clothing giveaways. We can go door to door and talk to the community at this one and the other one. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But this is a sort of help. So email us if you can provide any of the sort of help that I've talked about. There's emailing us with the back office help as in the subject line. Then there's the LA outreach in the subject line. And then was there one other one? There might have been another one. But anyway, so yeah, so let's now go back to, I'm going to be getting off here in about 3 to 5 minutes because the Sabby Sab or the Sab and JB show is up next. Okay, so let's end with the last 5 minutes. We're talking about the Activist Summit. So the Activist Summit. Oh, this is the other one. This is the third one. Where the subject line Activist Summit was the other one because we're looking for activists also. Activists. Say it out loud or I'll spell it wrong. So Activist Summit, if you are an activist or part of an organization or know of an organization that would want to participate or you think is a good idea for RBN or CJ, because since I'm doing this summit, sort of like I did the third party summit. So if you know anybody that fits that category, have them email RBN. That's the email up there in the subject line. Have them put, or have you can yourself can put Activist Summit. Okay. And again, we're looking for everything. Pro-Israel, anti-apartheid state Israel. I'm sorry, pro-Palestine, pro-Palestinian, anti-apartheid Israel activists, prison abolitionists, police abolitionists, rent control activists, abortion rights activists or pro-choice activists, anti-war activists, immigration activists, unhoused or homeless activists, disability rights activists, climate emergency activists. Then there's trans rights activists. Then there's LGBTQ activists. Then there's reparations activists. Then there's I'm just trying to think. There's so many locally that I know. Who am I missing here? I'm gonna leave it there, maybe. Yeah. So, but if you're an activist who I have not mentioned, please email us and include in the subject line Activist Summit. I'm looking to do this summit the first couple of weeks of October. And again, just think of the concept. activists coming to showcase what activism they do and what area they're for. We can also help them fundraise for whatever they're doing. So we want you to come on a singular stream where we're doing that with a bunch of activists, right? We're also can use this once now we're collecting all of these activists to come together to say, what can we do as a team? What can we do as a coalition of activists? What singular sort of thing can we sort of do together to make it a bigger sort of footprint? So if you have a climate emergency group with 100 people, you got a police brutality group with 300 people, you got a disability rights group with 200 people. What is that? 600 people. So individually, yeah, you have your 100 there, 200 there, 300, but collectively as 600 people, when we come together, what can we do? What activism can we do as a group? So this is a sort of a stepping stone towards that. We want to bring activists together, but we're bringing them together for a reason. So if you're interested, if this sounds like something you're interested in, and you're an activist or know of one, please email us today. I think I've beat that dead horse, but the point is to organize, did I spell that right? Locally, mobilize, or coordinate nationally. Mobilize locally. I think I like coordinate better because mobilize can be used to mean something else. Coordinate. Right. Okay, so this is a concept: organize locally, coordinate nationally. So that's the idea. All right, so that is going to be it for the first episode of, where is my label? The Proletariat Era. So the first episode of the Proletariat Era is in the books. I will be throwing up your comments as we sort of sign off here. And of course, I'm going to end with a video, but let's throw your comments up before we jam out of here. The Sabby and JB show will be starting in about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes here. Just throwing up your comments so you can make sure you get them on. All right, so I'm going to be signing off. Like this stream so that people can see it on replay. It'll pop up to them if they'll see it on replay. Please like this stream. It's very important. Now, you like the eye candy stuff, like the stuff when we're saying it's time to mobilize. We as leftists, we always talk, organize, it's time to do this, it's time to do this, direct action. We're finally putting that into effect. So we need people who like all of those tweets, people when they say it, to actually like this stream and to come out and do the things that's now needed. So no more talk, let's do. So like this stream, share this stream like you've shared no other stream. Let's get people activated. Let's get this activism and this direct action started. All right, so now let's throw up your comments and jam out of here. The rest of your comments and get out of here before it's too late. Where did I go? All right, I found my screen. Awesome. Thanks, JB. I'm getting off here. Just want to make sure everybody is participating. All right, everyone. That's going to be it. I'm going to sign off and give our stream get a 5-minute break before the Sabby and JHB show starts. But just remember this, like if we're going to talk and tweet all the things oh, we're not going to participate in a duopoly and we think this, we think activism, if we're going to tweet that when it's time for a call to action to actually do those things, we can't get silent. Our fingers can't cramp up when it's time to do that. Our ears can't go deaf when it's time for the activism to start. So we've been talking about this. We've been talking and talking, but now the time is here. So let's get active. Let me see what I want to end with. I wanted something fitting for what we're doing, but I don't think we need that. I think I'm going to go ahead and end with this MLK video here. So signing off. After the stream, after this video, the stream will end. Like the stream again. Make sure you come back for the JB or for the Sabby and JB show. Don't forget to email us. All right, everybody. I'm signing off with MLK.
I'm tired of marching. Tired of marching for something that should have been mine at birth. I don't mind saying to you tonight. I don't mind saying to you tonight that I'm tired of the tension surrounding our days. I don't mind saying to you tonight that I'm tired of living every day under the threat of death. I have no martyr complex. I want to live as long as anybody in this building tonight. And sometimes I begin to doubt whether I'm going to make it through. I must confess I'm tired.